our apartment, which we paid with our student loans, for the loan that we thought it was just we blow money because I would go out and buy the bar. By the way,
I'ma buy you a drink.
yeah.
I'ma take you home with me. I got money in the bank.
Shorty, what you think about that?
Yeah, well, none of us can sing right now.
Nope.
But it was a good segment.
Only know jazz. Like,
Do whatever you know.
Yeah.
Bro, what is this? The Island of Tahiti joint?
I don't know where. I was just going with the thing.
Yeah, that's called Invitation by Everyone. It's a jazz standard. So it's pretty
That
cool.
was an actual song. Okay.
All right. So, I have a question. I have many questions that lead to another question that were formed by a question.
Are we going to introduce who this guy is?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So for future reference, definitely you introduce somebody.
Okay, so we got Khnum Amos with us. Amor. Not Amos, Amor. He is a co-founder of an education company. Also been invited to go to one of the Ivy League schools for his academics, and is probably one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the most animated people I have ever met in my life. Not saying that is a bad thing. I'm saying it's a very good thing because it shows me the level that you can communicate with people. Because, dude, when I grew up, it was a complete opposite, like complete polarity. You were silent. You kept your arms to yourself. You did barely smile. Don't look at people. Like, it was very, very extreme. So it's very cool to see the level of communication you have just by, well, not even by speaking most of the time. So anyway, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Glad to be on.
My first question that will lead to other questions that was formed by a question into questions. How did you, well, actually, no, I'm going to shift that. How did you experience growing up? Because we've had your mom on here before.
Yeah.
How did you experience growing up with having a mother that's in the education system versus, of course, now taking control of it on your own?
You know, that's really, really interesting because we literally just talked about this last
Who's we?
night. Me and my mother.
Oh, nice. She called me. She told me.
And we were discussing the points because, well, growing up, starting off like really, really early on, maybe one, but before that, she had us on this thing called My Baby Can Read. And essentially it has your first grader vocabulary, and you can learn all of that by the time you turn 2. So you're reading, I don't know if I guess you're speaking, you're reading and stuff like that. But that's about as far as My Baby Can Read goes. But with that foundation, we were already light years ahead of our peers. And so for that, I always had my mom for help, but I never needed her. Literally never needed her. Yeah, I can think of maybe one time I asked her for help, but then she didn't know it because the math was too hard.
Within academics.
Yeah, within academics, of course. And when I grew up, we were taught, like, she taught us, like, hey, you're smart enough, you're good enough, you're always smart enough, you're always good enough. And we later found out, like, down the line, now that I'm a tutor and I'm teaching other kids and raising this next generation, and I realized that, like, it's really, really good to be smart, but one of the most debilitating things you can do for a kid is to tell them they're good enough.
What do you mean?
Well, me and my mom talked about it yesterday, and she posed the thought process of a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. Mm-hmm. And she was saying how a lot of times you can have somebody who's really, really smart, and let's say they start off here, right? But because they believe they're good enough and they're smart enough, They never have any drive to learn more. They never have any drive to take any criticism. They never actually want to do anything better. So across their education, it's a plateau. Then you have the kid who starts off at the very bottom. And that very bottom kid, of course, they're not smart enough. And everybody's telling him, but he reads, he studies, he digs in, he knows he needs to take advice. And he goes and he goes up and he goes up and he goes up and he goes up. And eventually he passes the kid who believes they were smart enough. Because the thing is, you can always learn more. And so that's what I was raised to believe. And I was always called arrogant. And eventually, in the later ends of high school, I could see how I was starting to peel away, where I was number one. And then it's like you can see the kids who had what I had and they studied right on top. And so that's one of the debilitating factors that I would say growing up with a mom as an educator. She grew up in a charter school called KIPP. It's pretty popular. I think
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, KIPP. And at KIPP, one of the things they really wanted to push on the students is like, you guys are always smart enough. You're always good enough. And so that's what my mom tried to do with us. But she's looking back on it now. Now she's a principal and she's looking back on it. And she's like, yeah, that's one of the things that if I could change, I would change that. Just because like that actually set us back for the long run.
Okay. It's almost like the difference between discipline and talent.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
Because the talent is like the super smart kid that's just been good the whole time and everybody's been telling him the same thing, like you just said, versus the one who started at zero and had to keep going.
100%.
This also made me think of like the polarity of that. Like I was not the top percentile of school whatsoever. And like 2020 hindsight, it's not that I didn't see the importance or value of it. I was just always programmed, you're going to go to school, get good grades, you're going to go to college. Like, it was no ifs, ands, no negotiations there. But I bring this up because my mom will always say, you can be anything that you want. And ideally, yes, that sounds empowering to say to a child. Like, I'd rather say that than not say anything at all. But it's like saying you can be everything that's like saying for a kid, like, you can go to the NFL, but they're not on a football team. They don't practice. They don't know drills. Like they don't know what positions. Like
they're 5'2".
Trying to get into the 5'2" or 5'2" trying to get into the NBA.
Yeah.
So it's like those things. I was speaking to someone recently, and it was like, oh, and I was sharing technical tutor with her. She was like, man, so many parents like want their children to be a doctor. And like, oh, you're 18, you can be a doctor, but they never prepared them or gave them the tools or the things incrementally as they grow to progress to be a doctor. And so in essence, that's what we do, or I'm saying we because not separating, but as parents, when we just send the kids just to public school. And like, it's the public school's responsibility to educate the children.
And it's not always public school too. It's all the schools in general.
Touche.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like I've met kids and tutored kids who went to schools that cost like $90,000 a year, and I'm like, bro, what? And that's one of their kids, and they had 3 at the time. What's funny is like they were so high end that I don't even know what their mom looks like. I don't even know what the mom looks like. I was dealing with like the family branch, like the subsidiary nanny who deals with all the kids.
Like the woman version of Alfred?
Yeah.
From Batman.
Pretty much. And so it was insane, but was tutoring them and I could see even within their school still had the same issues as a normal public school. And this is a school that, I mean, that's like a couple of cars you're given to somebody every year. And so, yeah, just like what you said, it's every school. And I kind of wanted to touch on that point about like you can be whatever you want to be. But it's not factoring in, like when you say that to a kid, it's more from the intention of a hope. It's like, like I'm hoping that you don't lose confidence in whatever you do,
Talk to him.
That's a good point.
but without cross-referencing that and tying it back to reality. So if you're 4'9" and you're trying to be in the NFL or the NBA, like the probability of that working out just because of how reality works and how basketball functions physically, you would rather spend your time doing something else. But if you're 100% hope, you're going to spend 10, 15 years trying to do something that's not going to get you anywhere. And so I think, like, in terms of that really ties back into how I was raised, was that hope point of like, we're not tying it back into reality. Like, hey, you're smart, but you still got to learn, because guess what? The world's changing, and everything that's here right now, it's going to look completely different by the time you get out of high school. So you need to be able to learn like this and learn and adapt. And you tie that back into reality, so you're not just floating on feelings, and you get washed away whenever you get hit by the storm.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back into your childhood,
Oh, I got a point though. Okay, wait. Give me 1 second.
if you go back into your childhood, just kind of explain, if you can, like just bullet points of how you remember your childhood being it doesn't have to be in school, but just the experiences you had with your family, with your brothers, with your mom, with your sister, like, because of course it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
So I want to paint the picture of like where you started, of course, and where we're at right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense. This is interesting. I don't talk about this too much. So let's go back, right? My parents they got divorced at 7, when I was 7 at least. At 7. That would be funny.
My parents got divorced at 7.
It was when I was 7. My sister was 4. My brother was 9. Before then, I was always sort of like, I was the middle child, and I was definitely like 100% middle child syndrome. My brother and my sister, they would always team up against me. We were always fighting, but I was like definitely the lone sheep for sure. And so it was growing up. It was a lot of fights with my brother. A lot of, let's see, a lot of disciplinary stuff with my dad. In terms of like, the typical black, like they get the belt, but it's like, because he's military, so military plus black, it's you're getting all of it. So it's like you're in push-up position and you're getting whooped. It's crazy. And so like it was that aspect of it, and it was the point of my mom, the dynamic when I was growing up, and I didn't even really know. I just received the residual effects of it. Was when I was growing up, my mom was working 3 jobs, and my dad had like a part-time sort of business with computers and stuff, but it wasn't really going well, and it was also hard for him to get a job just because of his past, right? And so, pretty much the only time I would ever get affection, because my mom wasn't affectionate, unfortunately, was if I came home and I had good grades. And I remember, like, there's this one really, really specific memory. I was in 2nd grade, so that means I was 6, I think it was right before the divorce. I was turning 6, literally, I was turning 6. I come home, and my report card is straight A's, and they take me out to a baseball game, and they leave my siblings behind. I have no idea where they went, but they take me out individually to a baseball game, and they fill up that Astros baseball cap with the ice cream. Oh my God, it was so good. I remember it. It was like the orange baseball cap with the plastic, and I was eating it, and like we're sitting there, dad's on one side, mom's on the other, and I'm watching the baseball game. It was because I got good grades. And that was pretty much it. And so over time, my entire personality developed based off of me feeling smart. Because, I mean, it's kind of, if anybody out there studies psychology and they study like nature versus nurture, you know that as a child, whatever you get rewarded for, that's what grows. That's what you repeat. And so the only thing that I was getting rewarded for was, number 1, good grades, and number 2, following the rules. And so that is what I turned into. So much so that my mom was getting scared.
What do you mean? Why was she scared?
There was one day I came home from school, and either I lost my homework or I feel like I couldn't do it. and I almost destroyed the entire house. Like tearing things up, throwing things, like bawling.
Oh, because you couldn't find it.
Because I couldn't find it. And I was like, I need to do this homework.
Whoa.
And my mom realized in that moment that, like, she was like, she was just telling me it's not that serious, but you can't just tell a kid that. It doesn't work like that.
Like, Mom, based off the history of how this works, this is my entire life. So don't you? Yeah.
And so that was just a minor infraction in terms of like the entirety of my schooling, how I reacted to when I either didn't get a good grade or I couldn't find my homework or I felt like I couldn't figure it out. Like I would stay up till 3 to 5 in the morning if I couldn't figure things out. And it was like, this is like rough stuff. And I know people have had it rougher, but this is just like, it's really different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in terms of my childhood and how I grew up, I would say I really developed a personality around people approving of me following rules, not really thinking for myself, and essentially thinking that I'm good enough because I didn't actually have to try in school. Because what my mom did from that 0 to 2, she prepared me, and so school was easy. And so I was like, well, I'm doing something easy, and I'm getting all this reward for it, so let me just keep doing the easy thing. Mm-hmm. But we talked about this yesterday, and it's really interesting. It's crazy how everything's converging. I talked to her about it because I was like, unfortunately, what that does is that trained me to only do things that are easy to me that will also get me a reward, but not looking at the long-term effects of that actual physical thing. So, for example, school. Doing that maybe 10, 15 years ago, perfect, amazing. I would have been fine. Went to college, got a job, would have been good. Mm-hmm. Now, completely fucking useless. Yeah. Like literally useless, right? Same thing with music. Music came relatively easy to me. I mean, easier than most because, I mean, my whole entire dad's side of the family, they have a literal band right now traveling in Georgia. So I grew up around music, saxophones, drums,
Makes
singing.
sense.
And then my mom's side, everybody played instruments. And so literally when I got to middle school, it was like, what instrument are you playing? Like that's kind of how it was, right? Mm-hmm. However, when you look at the longevity of that skill, I mean, it's very pleasurable. It sounds good, but what can you actually build with it? And with the way this world is going,
it's not going to be around much longer.
Like in terms of making a living, creating a family, creating a business, it's not, especially like I would technically be a freshman in college right now. And if you look at the AI music, it's like, what in the hell? So in 3 years from now, what is that going to look like when I'm supposed to be out of college? Right.
It's good now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So going through all that, seeing everything from your new perspective now, because you've been using TT from, what was it, 3? Oh, no, he started before his mom.
So no, I would say they're about 2-3 years in. So she was more on the 2 years. He's more on the 3 years.
So it's probably been what, 4-ish?
Two, 3.
Oh, I thought you meant 2 before.
No. Like we all got it at the same time.
Okay.
But he took the process on before everyone else.
Okay. So within the time that you've spent using everything, being around the group, being around the community, getting all the support that you've gotten, where has it taken you differently from where you were going? I had the Jeopardy thing in my head the whole time.
I wanted to say, that's a great question, Quiet Kyler.
Dude, okay. Yeah, I wanted to think about it because I'm going to just throw out answers here. I'd say the 2 biggest things is that I would have only cared about myself. Like I would have only done things that would have been, I saw benefited me.
Yeah, but what does that look like? What do you mean?
And so it's kind of hard to explain. There's so many facets of this aspect, but one of them being, I mean, what I was going to do in the world was I was just going to try to make money, take care of me and maybe my kids, and that's it. And I'm good. I'm straight. I don't care about my mom. I don't care about my dad. I don't care about anybody else in the entire world, as long as I have enough money to build my own underground bunker that's going to last 50 years and then, get my mansion and stuff. I'm straight. But also on the other side of that, it was I genuinely did not care for people. Like I was so consumed with just myself. I was kind of emotionless, and I didn't really care if I was mean to you. And the only time I switched that was in middle school when I realized I at least wanted people to like me. Mm-hmm. So I started being nice, but it was still very, very self-interested. And I think I would have ended up hurting a lot of people if not actually considering what would be best for everyone. Because I would have, it's like those people, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like I was programmed to be the ruthless, cutthroat, kind of Slytherin type, Slytherin type person. And so I would have ended up hurting and abusing a lot of people to get what I want. And I would say now that's definitely not the case, because now I realize through the support, through the community and everything like that, that we're all in this together. And so if you're only strong as your weakest link, it doesn't matter how good I'm doing if the whole entire country's in war, mm-hmm. right? If I'm 40 and then I get drafted and then my kids get drafted and we ended up dying in Iran, it doesn't make it doesn't matter at all how much money I've gotten.
Right.
So we're all in this boat together, and there is no, I'm going to be on my own little floaty boat over here. I just need to get everybody.
Floaty boat.
Floaty boat, little boat. Oh, that's a nickname that I used to have.
Wait, floaty boat is? Or
no,
little boat.
Little boat. There's a lot of different boat, whatever. But it's now it's time to take responsibility for all that is here, mm-hmm. and getting everybody on the same page in the entire world to get on the same page at, let's do stuff that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Let's actually create a world that would be best for everyone, like basic needs, water, food, electricity, nutrition, actual parenting, all these different things. I wasn't even considering that. I didn't give a shit. So I would say in the trajectory, one, I was going to abuse a lot of people to get to exactly where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. The other one, I'm bringing everyone along with me. Mm.
How did that perspective change, though? Because, of course, you explaining, it didn't start that way. Mm-hmm. So, we all know the answer here because we all use the same thing. Uh-huh. And we're all part of the same mission. Mm-hmm. However, what is it that you're doing currently right now that's creating, what you're talking about? Because it's different than where you were explaining that you were wanting to go, the self-interest.
Okay. Because there's two different questions there. Because one, you said, how did it change? And the second one is, what are you doing now? Right?
Correct.
So
make sure you're paying attention.
The first one would be, how did it change? And can I tell you guys a story?
Yeah.
I think you may have heard it before, maybe not.
Love stories.
Story time. You can feel like a little. Blum, 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 blum. Okay.
I feel like a kid.
Okay, gather around.
Reading Rainbow.
Ooh, that was a go-to show. Anyways, so I was doing really, really good in music in high school, and we were doing. We were in jazz. I loved jazz. I was pretty much doing jazz all I could, as much as I could, to the point where my mom had to stop me at 10 p.m. from practicing. So, yeah, she would put a curfew on the practice.
How old were you?
This is 16, 17.
Okay. So freshman, sophomore year?
No, sophomore, junior.
That's what I totally, yeah, that's what I meant.
I graduated pretty young, just because of my birthday and stuff. But anyways, we were doing really, really good in the competitions, and we went to this one at University of Houston. And University of Houston, they put on a really good competition every year. It's like a jazz festival, and they invite somebody, like some random, really, really famous person. And like this year they had, 2025, they had Wayne Bergeron, or was it maybe this year? Wayne Bergeron, I know you may not know who that is, but if you look him up right now, he's probably one of the most worldwide known trumpet players. He's like, if you hear some of his music, you'll be like, yeah, I know what that is. He's popular for so many different things, but they had Wayne Bergeron. When I went, they had somebody called Andy Martin, and he was nicknamed the trombone player of the nation, something like that. I don't know have you guys seen the movie Soul?
Yes.
It's a
I know what
cartoon
you're
one?
talking about.
Yeah, Soul,
Piano?
the Disney
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Soul, you got the black dude with the piano, right? And you got the other black lady, and she's playing the saxophone. And then he has a class, and in that class, there's like a little girl, and she's playing trombone. And he was the person that they did, like they put like hundreds of cameras around, and they recorded every single little movement of him. And like everything that the girl's playing, that's what he was playing. And so that's why the Soul movie, like people do like their dissections of it, everything's exactly how a normal instrument would be played because it's animated. But they just did a whole bunch of recordings and stuff like that of real musicians.
That's cool.
And I just looked him up on IMDb a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's now at like 200 plus movies in soundtracks. It's like 200, like it's stupid amount. And he did a Q&A after playing beautifully. I mean, it was amazing. You guys, if you don't know what jazz is, yeah, listen out. I mean, it's just jazz.
I know somebody named Jazz, but I don't know any Jazz.
True.
All right, go ahead. Carry on.
And so we did a Q&A. And all the kids around the auditorium, they're asking him questions and stuff like that. And me personally, I didn't necessarily have a question because I felt like I know what to do. I mean, you lock in, you practice, you go to college, you meet people, you network, and you're gonna get a job somehow. So I wasn't really like, oh, I have a question. But everybody else was asking him questions, and I was just listening. And so some kid, he raised his hand and he asked him, what does your work-life balance look like? I was like, it's a pretty good question. And Andy Martin, right, he just sits there. And for like 10 to 15 seconds. And then he picks up the microphone and he goes, I've missed every birthday, anniversary, and holiday for my entire family. And I'm just now taking my first vacation. And I'm 60.
Whoa.
And I was like, and he was like, what in the world? And so he said the reason is because in the jazz world, it's based off of gigs. That's how you get your money. Get your money off of gigs. And so what gigs look like, it's essentially like, say you're playing with a group and you're playing at a restaurant, right? And every single month you play at that restaurant and they pay you $100 each time you play at that restaurant. Let's say 1 month it's Christmas and you're like, let me spend some time with my family. And you call them and you're like, hey guys, sorry, Ben, I'm gonna take a break this time. I'm gonna spend time with my family, right? What they'll do is, unfortunately, they have 100 other people trying to get to your spot. So as soon as you call out, they're calling number 2. Hey, number 2, you wanna come play at this gig? You're like, yeah, sure. Number 2 shows up on Christmas. Number 2 plays. If number 2 does any amount of good, they will keep him on forever, and you will never get the job back.
Whoa.
So you cannot miss a single gig. Same thing with movies, especially with movies. I mean, you think about it, they're not going to reschedule a movie for you. So if the movie's on your anniversary, good luck. Because guess what? The way gigs work is that 1 month you might have a lot of gigs and you might be really good. But then there might be 3 months where you only got 1. And so you have to learn how to make money stretch, and you have to know how to not turn down gigs, because if not, then you may not get anything else.
Wow.
And so he said, like he told, a lot of part of it's legal too, but he's still getting paid off of some royalties, because some things, you record an album and it just randomly does good and you get paid off of royalties. But all in all, it's not really good money. And so you have to have a lot of volume. And so by that time, I had already decided for myself that I was going to have kids because I became confident in my ability to raise an effective child through seeing really, really smart kids with the parents that I'm hanging around in the group that we have. And so I changed my perspective of, no, I'm not going to have kids because why would I ever bring a kid into this world, to let me actually raise somebody that's going to be really effective and kill it.
Very familiar thought.
Okay, same thing?
Message.
Okay. And so I was already there. Like, I'm going to have kids. And so when he said that, I was like, oh, hell no. And so, but it still took me a long time to figure out what's the next thing I wanted to do, because my whole entire life was set up for me to go to college. So, I mean, just thinking, oh, hell no, isn't really going to change anything immediately. It took me probably 8 months for me to really decide that I'm not going to college and to do something else and what I'm actually going to do with my time.
So what are you actually doing now? Just so everybody that's listening doesn't know quite everything that you do.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right now, I'm building out an educational business that is going to change the world.
Do you want to expand on that?
I was like, drop the mic.
Yeah, that's like, you can't just, I mean,
I could.
Wait, I got something to add.
What?
Something that he said earlier. I want to give more context to. So, reading this book called "The Chaos Machine: The Inside Story of How Social Media Rewire Our Minds and Our World" by Max Fisher. And so, Khnum, you spoke about how there were people you were tutoring with the tools with Techno Tutor. You're tutoring people who their schooling was $90,000 a year. So in this book, it was talking about nepotism pretty much, like, hey, you know somebody who knows somebody, or like you get the hookup on, they're talking about specifically in tech. And so on a specific page, I'm seeing all these big names and I'm like, what school did they go to, or what kind of schooling did they have? So like, so you said that kid, and I'm assuming that's like middle school or high school?
High school.
High school. So if someone has a $90,000 a year high school, so that's about $360,000. Let's say he went all 4 years. Yeah, so that's about $360,000. Okay, so Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, went to Reed College, which is about $72,000 to $87,000 a year. Okay, we have Mark Zuckerberg went to Harvard, which is about $57,000 to $92,000 a year.
This is currently or back when they were going to school?
This is currently.
I thought it was more. Okay.
And then there's always some like other things they can add and all that stuff. Elon Musk went to University of Pennsylvania, which is $69,000 to $95,000 a year. And then Stanford, which is someone like Peter Thiel, went to Larry Page, which is the founder of Google, went to Stanford, which is $68,000 to $90,000 a year. And I'm gonna name a couple more because we specifically in Houston, then I'm gonna bring up the point why I'm like highlighting this. Jeff Bezos went to Princeton, which is $68,000 to $95,000 a year. All these people that I name are billionaires, by the way, multi-billionaires. So University of Houston here in Texas, so there's tiers to the school pretty much in the education system. And I'm just going to get 3 examples here in Houston. Texas Southern University, when I looked it up a couple last week, it ranged from 9.2 thousand to about pretty much 20,000 max a year. University of Houston is 28,000 a year, and that's kind of like a better school. Like no judgment towards it. Like people would say, hey, University of Houston is a better school than Texas Southern, generally speaking. Then we have Rice University, which is 66,000 to 92,000 a year, which is like the Ivy League. They call Rice like the Harvard of the South. So we have this kid that Khnum was tutoring that was, his high school was 90,000 a year. These are collegiate levels I was giving you the colleges of these people, these tech billionaires that a lot of people strive for. Like, oh, I can be a multi-millionaire, or I can be a billionaire, or I can do like Steve Jobs did, and I can drop out of school.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't even see that what kind of confidence, education level, ability to process and see things and put these patterns together and apply these things for you to go to a college that is 72 to 87,000 a year in Steve Jobs, which is the Reed College. So we have tools that Khnum use which is showing, I'm highlighting the education or the Techno Tutor specifically, that he was educating a kid with $90,000 high school.
I see what you're saying.
But also the last part I would share there is that what we're not even also seeing that the amount of opportunity, the opportunities that they in the language, the vocabulary, the experiences,
The network.
their friendships, that they were experienced for your child to be able to go to a $90,000 a year high school. Most of us go to public school.
Free.
For free. And something that Avery says is quite often, if it's free, you're the product.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
If it's free, you are the product.
Damn.
So a lot of parents, some parents just might, sting a little bit, but you sending your kid to college and you want them to go to the league because you're right on their back because they're going to be your lottery ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
But they didn't have the experiences, the network, the opportunities, the capacity just because they went to college or they, oh man, my kid went to this school off the scholarship. Even like in the last part I'll share here, even like, let's say people like that went to Duke. Let's use Kyrie Irving as the first person that just came to my mind. Went to Duke. Yeah, he got it for a scholarship, but still you got to have a type of intelligence to still go to Duke. Even if you want a basketball scholarship.
You still have to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's not one of those, people pass you through. No, not there. You have to have a level of processing and understanding. But I say all this to say, because this is based off your foundation from your years from 0 to 7. And a lot of it, the foundational points before you went to school to get indoctrinated or go to the academic schools or the miseducation institutions where you got a lot of this information or a lot of your teachings from your first teachers, which is your parents. Let that breathe a little bit. A lot of people expecting or hoping, like as you said before, that, my kid's going to be a multimillionaire, 6 figures, and people don't even know, like, what's the percentage of the world that's actually a millionaire? So just want to put that in there.
And then I can finish up, finish asking that question about expanding on my educational company. Is it okay if I take you guys through like a little exercise?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're all here together. Can I ask you guys to, for a moment, think about your breathing?
Okay.
Do I supposed to breathe?
Can you hear me think?
Like, I'm thinking about it. Do I supposed to breathe when I think about it or just think about like...
So, okay, you're thinking about your lungs and stuff and inhale and exhale. And so if you actually had to think about your breathing in order to make yourself breathe,
Yep.
how long would you live?
1,000 years. No, I'm just playing. Not long.
1,000 years?
Done.
Done? What about you, Kyle?
He just died.
Oh, you literally just died. Bro, couldn't even make it past the question. Shit. He's already out. Oh, my Lord.
I got X's on my eyes.
Okay, so pretty short, right? Okay, now let's take it a step further. It's going to be hard, but I want you to think about your heartbeat.
Bro, I put my hand on the wrong side of the heart.
Jesus, man, it's rough out here. And so if you had to actually think about your heart beating in order to make it beat, how long would you live?
I just died.
I just thought about the question.
Right? You just thought about the question. Now your mind's off somewhere else. So why does our entire education system force us to go through your thinking, your mind, and your memory? I don't know if you guys remember back when you're in either university or you're in high school and you had a big test coming up, right? And you had to study for this test. You take notes. You had to do the highlighter. You had to do the Quizlet, the flashcards, everything. And you took the test. But after you took the test, how much did you guys remember from it?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Defecated that information.
I remembered my name.
Defecated is great.
Interesting word to use in there.
Yep.
I don't remember nothing.
Okay. So with that in mind, would you want yourself or your children to just memorize information or actually know it?
Know it.
Know it.
Okay. That's what we do with Techno Tutors. We take all of that information that you're actually trying to know, and we put it in the knowing part of your brain.
Is it right there in the back, right there, where you pointed?
It's the part where you get slapped.
Generally speaking. But yeah, we're taking all that in K through 12, 3 years of university and beyond, everything, all the way down to the knowing part of the brain, which not a single educational institution does. Because you can't fix that problem through, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's just like, well, there's a problem that comes up in school where after a certain age, you're either smart or you're not. And so that's what I'm here to fix, is that no matter what age you are, you can become smart versus I can't read. Oh, well.
And that's exactly why you were teaching a kid that their family spends $90,000 a year on, and he still can't make it.
Because majority of the other
But you were
people in his
using the
family-
tools. You weren't teaching him. Because I want to specify for some people listening, he is a tutor, but he's using a specific tool that gets that information down to the knowing part of the mind.
Yeah.
So everybody who's listening knows that it's not just Khnum as being special. It's the tools that we have access to.
And you know, it's interesting. Can I share a little bit on that? For years, I was just a normal average tutor before like using a specific program with my tutoring. And it's in my genetics. I mean, my mom's a principal. My grandma's a principal. My mom said at least 5 generations back on my mom's side, people have gone to college. So definitely deep line of education and educators. My aunt right now, she's also in the education system. I actually teach at the same school. So it came very naturally in terms of tutoring. And I had really, really great results despite my age. However, it was night and day when I switched to using that program. And keep in mind, not even using the program, I was having parents tell me that I was tutoring better than somebody who had, like they were going to, and they had 2 master's degrees in the subject they were teaching in, and they were like 20 years after high school. And she said the only person I'm comparable to is somebody. She's now working. I think it's quantum mechanics, and she only used me and that other lady because she tried everybody else, and essentially nobody else could actually get through to her kids, actually talk, communicate with them, speak on their level. And so I had the benefit of not only somewhat being closer to their age, so I know how they're thinking. I'm not so far attached where I'm just like, man, what are you guys doing? I know what's going on in their head. Plus the actual skills to do so. But even so, not even the best tutor can solve that problem of what happens after at a certain time your mind starts to close off and starts to solidify like concrete, and you can't really get anything else in there.
And of course, you having that ability to do that over all other tutors, over all other educators, now gives you opportunity for incredible financial benefits.
That's why he has an education.
The business. So,
and you're only 18, yes? Shelby, what were you doing at 18?
Drugs. No,
Kyle?
I just got introduced to weed. And I was playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I was finishing off varsity year, my senior year. And after senior year was over, basketball was over, I smoked a little weed. And I had MD 2020 for the first time.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't.
Is it?
Malt liquor.
Oh, really? I know what you're talking
It's
about.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's where my life began.
And Kyle, what were you doing at 18?
That's when my life began. That's crazy.
Who said that?
That's what she just said.
Bro, my life began. It's crazy.
I just said.
I was attending a community college called Lansing Community College. 18, just graduated, was living off financial aid, wouldn't get a job. Got a food, Detroit, we call it EBT, which is a long story here. We have a food stamp card, buying steak, like grand steaks, buying black Hennessy, and like we was getting drunk. Like,
18?
like I'm coming home.
You're a bad guy.
I'm coming home like coming home to our apartment, which we paid with our student loans. For the loan that we thought it was just we blow money because I would go out and buy the bar, by the way.
I'ma buy you a drink.
Yeah.
I'ma take you home with me. I got money in the bank.
Shorty, what you think about that?
Yeah, well, none of us can see.
Nope.
Hey, but it was a good segment.
Okay.
So I'm buying out the bar. One day I come to the house and the door is open, like wide open. I see my roommate's car. I don't see my roommate, and it looked like it's blood outside the door of our door. So I'm scared. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm like, okay, should I enter the house? So I go back outside. I look around the car. I don't see him. I go back upstairs. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing traces of red puddles. So I'm like, oh, like, what's going on? So this roommate I've known we was on the basketball team in high school together. So I've known him like 2-3 years by then. So we decided to go to college, which is Lansing, which is 1 hour away from Detroit. An hour now living in Houston is nothing, but back then an hour was far. So I'm looking for him, can't find him. I'm scared now because I'm like, yo, somebody like, did they kill him? Did he is somebody that has a high temper, like temper tantrums on 12. And so I started like, okay, my mom's an officer, so I'm like, I got to use some type of investigation skills other than I don't know what's going on. So long story short, we go into I see there's a black Hennessy bottle. So at that time, black Hennessy, Hennessy at that time, like $30. Black Hennessy, about $60, $70.
I can't believe you remember that. That's crazy.
I was getting drunk. I shouldn't remember what I did.
That's what I'm saying. How do you remember that?
Because it's so much, it's trauma, and it's not trauma. Trauma is a hard word, but I'm scared that is my roommate dead or not. So I'm like, so anyway, looking for him, can't find him. Then I realized, then I look on the floor and the carpet, I realized, oh no, it's not, that red stuff is not blood, it's vomit. So I'm like, oh, he was
changes the whole story.
Definitely changes the whole story. So I'm like, all right, if I was him, where would I be right now? I said either in jail or in a hospital. He's not in jail. Found him in a hospital.
Damn.
Or in a hospital outside of the hospital room on the stretcher. Boy, drunk. I don't even know how he got to how he even got there. So I bring that up because that's what we was doing at Lansing Community College, but the last part I was
because that's what we're doing.
That's what we was doing at 18. But I would say like this last part, which is significant about 18, and we said this I think a previous episode, depending on when you're watching this, right? You know. But anyway, so I took an English class, and in my school it was a 101. Didn't know that 101s, any 100 classes are remedial classes. Didn't know that, but whatever, besides the point. Took English 101 in college, and they gave us this accelerating reading program. It was on a CD, a compact disc, a little circle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in.
Nope, never heard of
it. Did the program and entirely failed it. Like, out of 100, I got a 37.
Wow.
And it was about speed reading. And that was on like, and I did it again and tested 20 something. I got a 20.
Dude, I got something to share after you.
And then that's when, and at 18, I really started considering like, is college for me? Because one, we did a year lease on this apartment, and this money running out, and we got evicted eventually. So at 18, what I was doing, fell in classes, getting drunk, and getting evicted.
All right. You said you wanted to share something?
Yeah, that speed reading piece. It was interesting because that was I would say the one academic weakness that I had, but I didn't know I had because I suppressed it so much. But essentially I knew because two things. One, I don't know if you guys remember, but back when they were in school and they put a question up on the board and they got the multiple choice and they're like, raise your hand when you have the answer. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading the question, right? And I'm maybe midway through and like the first 3 hands go up. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, bro, what are you doing? How did you even finish reading the question? And then I'm barely toward the end and like 6 hands are up. But then I get to the end and I pick my answer. And so I'm raising my hand. And so I read super duper slow. But I would frequently get it right. And so I kind of suppressed that point. I was like, it didn't matter. I got it right. But as soon as I moved to something, it was like a college level, is it English or language arts? Same thing, really. But essentially, we had 50 questions, 5 to 6 passages, and 50 minutes. So it means you had to read really fast and you had to answer the questions automatically under 60 seconds at least. And it's interesting because do you guys know what like curve means in terms of grades?
Yes, but explain it to the people who may not know.
Okay. So curving in terms of grades means that, let's say you have an entire class, right? And of course, in a class, you've got the students who score the highest, and you got the students who score the lowest, and you have the students who score in the middle, right? Let's say if the highest score was a 47.
Out of what?
Out of 100. 47 out of 100. What the teacher can do, especially in college, is they will turn that 47 into 100 and make that the baseline for the grade. And so whoever scored lower than a 47, you're getting grade based off of that. So if you scored a 30, then you're probably getting maybe an 80, maybe a 70. If you scored a 20, you're failing. But the highest score was a 47. 47, that's not actually passing. And so they pretty much curve almost every single test. Almost every single test. And so that's why all of us are all in a delusion about how smart we actually are as a society. It's because every single fucking test is being curved. And so you think your kid is still getting straight A's, which on paper I am, but if you actually go back to the test, I'm not.
And there's a thing called grade inflation. So like how we have money and tax, money inflation, there's a thing called grade inflation that's going on right now. Pretty much what you just explained. But so that, let's say back in 1990, a A, like you have to get a 90. Now a A is a 80.
It's a B.
Which,
oh yeah, they're starting to change that around for sure.
Right. So you now, even in the school systems, like a lot of parents don't know, as we talk to, your child write their name on a paper, they're getting at least a 67, which is passing in the context of No Child Left Behind. And so the No Child Left Behind, what they thought was, okay, that means no child fails. Actually, the No Child Left Behind is we going to leave them behind when they graduate. They're not going to be able to do anything. So we're going to push them up. So that's when we're not leaving. That's when we seem like we're sticking to our commitment or promise. However, once they graduate, they won't be able to do anything. All they can do is
live with their parents.
And live with their parents and get warehouse jobs. But guess what? Where's warehouse jobs going to?
AI.
Exactly.
Do you know what the STAR test is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I found out that after a certain amount of times of failing the STAR test, you only need to get about a 20% to pass.
Wow.
Oh, here's another level for the STAR test for you. did you know that the reason why your child started taking the STAR test in the 3rd grade is because there's something called a natural learning ability, and at 7 around that time it closes. So something Khnum was talking about, like the concrete, your mind just let's just say it can't be molded, it turns into cement. So at 3rd grade, which are around 7 to 8, the STAR test, they do that to stress your kid out so to close your natural learning ability sooner. So now, if it's just like for someone who understand like CDs, or when we was burning CDs, or let's just say it's like a playlist, you have tracks 1 through 7. Let's say that's your years 1 through 7. After 7, the CD comes out. You can't add any more songs to that playlist. Now that becomes a soundtrack of your life. So that's what this STAR test is doing. Because also the last part for those, the SAT actually is an aptitude test, which is checking how intelligent you are and what types of fields. But they created that because it's a sorting mechanism. So it can see, it's like, okay, based off what you score, we know you can go to this school. And then if you go to this school, this gives you more opportunity for us to filter you. But that also gets you higher up in the pyramid chain of education, so you can possibly get this job that everybody's fighting for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You take all the people, out that can bring everybody around them up. And then the people that need help can't be brought up anymore because you took the person out that could teach them.
Boom. So that's why it's important to having tools and community, and the difference between a community and a network. So, like the network, so a network, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm networking. But in essence, the networking is really a part of suppression. Let me give a little bit more context. The network is really only for that one specific thing that y'all gather for. So we're in the same group, we're in the same fraternity, we're trying to get this job. That's what you're for. We only come together for this specific thing. And then you have the community that, hey, we're here to support the human as a whole. So we can talk about emotional points here, like what's really going on in your life, like how's your family, how's your wife, but not just saying, oh, we good, we fine, really what's going on. So like a exaggerated example would be, in a network, the homeless man is the homeless man, the panhandler. In a community, that's John, that he has a name, and you know what? I'm going to bring John some food here because he's a part of the community. So the network makes you fragment yourself and separate yourself, and you're suppressing yourself. So the more networks that you in, people think they're, they might be getting more wealth, maybe, but who they are, their being, they have to fragment, and they're losing parts of themselves, opposed to a community where people and children of all ages and different backgrounds are building each other up and evolving each other and growing together.
Facts.
Which is exactly what we have.
A community.
And we were just on a big ass cruise with everybody.
I'm on a boat.
With little boat.
So if you need tutoring, obviously go to Khnum. So Khnum, where are they going to find you?
Well, I have an Instagram. Maybe we can tag it in the description here. Instagram, Facebook. I'm everywhere.
Just personal message you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well done. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Reminds me of the Iron Man scene. Like the Iron Man. You know what I'm talking about?